Hey guys, I'm Randy.
And I'm Daniel.
We're two lifelong friends and musicians, but when we're not playing gigs, we like to talk games.
And today on the Game and Gig podcast, we're talking about these new rumors that Game Boy and Game Boy Advance is finally coming to Nintendo Switch Online.
All right, man, so there's these really crazy rumors, but they seem fairly true.
Yeah.
But we'll get into, all that in a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
But basically the rumor is that Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance games are all coming to Nintendo Switch Online in sometime in the near future.
Yeah. I mean, this has been rumored for a long time. I mean, these rumors were pretty hot and heavy before we got the what eventually became the expansion pass, for N64. So, yeah, I mean, apparently there was some leaks on 4chan, and like you said, they do seem to have some weight to them.
So we've kind of moved from rumor to maybe like some evidence. And
Yeah, I think we're in leak territory.
it's hard to say. And I think that's what we'll get into today is like, what, are these legit? Should we trust these leaks?
Right.
Because there's a lot of evidence for them, but is there any evidence against them? And, it's like, it's really tough to say. I have my ideas, though. I have my ideas. So, I guess, the main argument for this is that there's been this rumor for a long time that Game Boy games, and at least Game Boy games, were coming to NSO. It kind of made sense.
It makes perfect sense. I mean, Switch is half handheld.
Right.
And the Game Boy and Game Boy Color and Game Boy Advance were wildly successful. And they have this great library of games. It only makes sense that they come to Switch at some point.
Right. And I wonder how much of this is because when it's these rumors, you wonder if is it a rumor because someone knows something or is it just a rumor because it just makes sense? So right. People are assuming and kind of turning it into a rumor. I don't know. It's tough to say. But we were talking about this earlier and you brought up a really good point that, one of the things that make you think that this leak may be accurate is that Mother 3 is not on the list of leaked games.
Yeah, so we'll get into that list later, but we have a list of the alleged game library that we would, probably be trickle fed or whatever. Right. And Mother 3 is not on the list. And if you're up on your retro game lore, you know that Mother 3 never got translated to English officially. There's a fan translation, so you can go play the ROM if you want to. I would like to do that one day, but if this list came out and Mother 3 was on it, I would think it was bullcrap. Right. Because Nintendo clearly has no interest in translating Mother 3. I don't think they'll ever do it. So, maybe it could be like a Japan only. I mean, that's something they could do. Like, Japan gets Mother 3 on NSO expansion for Game Boy Advance. That would really tick some people off. But
I don't know. I mean, I think if Mother 3 was on there, I guess they would just call it Mother 3 because, in the States, that series is called Earthbound.
Right.
And, but we did get Earthbound and Earthbound Beginnings recently on NSO.
Yeah, but those were already translated.
Yeah, they were already translated. So it wasn't like it was that difficult to do. But the fact that they put them out, that was a pretty cool thing that a lot of people were hyped about. I don't know how many people actually went back and played them, but still.
Sometimes the thought of having access to a retro game is better than actually playing it.
Yeah, often.
I've learned that. I learned that the hard way.
So, let's say we do get Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance games. What capacity do you think these are going to come in? Do you think they're going to be part of the base service, the expansion pack service, another tier beyond that? What's your thoughts?
I don't think they will put another tier. I think that would be a little going a little too far for a lot of people.
I think it'd be a bad idea, yeah.
But I also don't think they'll all be free. I've read some things online, and a lot of people are thinking maybe Game Boy and I guess maybe Game Boy Color, maybe that's free, and Game Boy Advance
part of the original.
Locked, the original NSO. Along with NES and SNES.
Well, that's not free. It's just cheap.
Right, it's not free. It's cheap. You're right. And then maybe lock the GBA library behind the higher tier paywall of the expansion pass. But I could also see him just going all expansion pass.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah.
I think it's all expansion pass.
You don't think they'll ever add anything else to the classic?
No, I think the NSO thing is done. I think it's just, NES, SNES, that's it. And then I think, the expansion pass we got, what is it? We have the N64, We've got the Genesis stuff, and I think that
And some DLC, a growing library of DLC.
DLC stuff, right? I think that we could see all of this being on the expansion pass. Or I don't think they're going to do another tier, but I mean, companies have made stupider decisions than that.
Oh yeah.
I think they get a lot of blowback.
Yeah, I think they would too. And I also think, they've already gotten so much blowback for the expansion pass maybe not being worth the money. How do you think adding all these Game Boy games and Game Boy Advance games, how do you think that changes maybe our perception of whether or not that expansion pass is worth it?
I realize we keep saying expansion pass. I think it's expansion pack.
It is expansion pack. It is. But the Mario Kart was a booster pass.
Yes.
And that's what's got me
That's
jacked
what's
up.
got you, yeah.
And when I made my video on that, I kept calling them booster course passes.
Really?
Yeah, I did it like 3 times. I put a little counter. Or not a counter, but I put text every time I did it.
That is funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, expansion
booster
pack.
courses.
This is the expansion pack, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that
Do you think that makes it worth it?
if we had, I think
Assuming the emulation.
I personally don't have a problem with the expansion pack the way it's priced right now because of the family option.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We're getting.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that is a really great deal. I think that we pay like $7 or $8 a year.
Yeah. So if you did what we did and you got on top of it and got some friends together and did the family pack, like we maxed it out. What is it? 8 people?
Some of that.
Something like that. Yeah. So we've got a full family thing and it's super cheap.
Yeah.
But I think even if it's, if you're paying a single subscription.
Yeah. It's like
That's
$50
different.
a year.
Yeah.
Around that like $50 mark. Yeah. That's a little, it depends on if you're going to use it or not.
Yeah.
And my thought is if you're not going to use it, you really shouldn't buy it. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I am very much kind of in the mindset that if you think it's too expensive, but you want it, okay, I can understand being annoyed with the price. Mm-hmm. If you think it's too expensive and you don't want it in the first place, then why does it matter?
Yeah.
And if you get some friends together, it becomes really affordable. Whether, then you're kind of can be on the fence of whether you might use it a little bit and be okay with the price.
Yeah. Well, I personally think adding all these Game Boy games makes it a really good value.
If it's on the expansion pack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if the emulation's good, which it's Game Boy, so surely to God it will be.
Yeah.
It's not exactly the Water Temple.
No, yeah. Yeah, I think I expect it to be part of the expansion pack. Mm-hmm. I think it's just going to be there, all of it. But I could see a world in which maybe the Game Boy, just like you were mentioning, just the Game Boy portion comes to the regular NSO. Mm-hmm. I could see that.
So you can play Tetris.
Yeah, I could see that, but I don't know. I think it's all. If I had to place money on it, I think I'd go at all expansion pack. Mm-hmm. But there's all these other. I've heard rumors that part of the leak was that each of the games launches as its own app.
Yeah.
Which is a little weird. And what it's led some people think is, are they even going to put it as part of NSO? Are they going to bring back the virtual console? Are you going to buy these individually?
No. Okay, so I just thought of something when you said that. So the Game Boy was meant to be portable, right? Play it anywhere. And that's part of the allure of the Switch as well. Mm-hmm. But stuff that's tied to NSO, you can't download.
You can only play it online.
You can only play it online. So if they do make all these games individual apps, maybe you can download what you want so it's truly mobile. That would actually be genius, Nintendo.
That would be cool. Maybe that's it. Maybe you do get each app individually.
Mm-hmm. I would really like to be able to download them. That's for sure.
Maybe there'll be an app that you can launch that brings up the games, and then once you download them individually, they become their own app that you access, so you can do it on the go, mobile, without having.
That would be awesome. And we have folders now, on Switch, so you could download all these games and put them behind a Game Boy folder, and then.
Yeah.
Hey, that doesn't seem bad. Although the folders are stupid because you have to go to all software to access the folders. Did you know that?
Yeah. But
it's a bunch of crap.
All you do is go all the way to you don't even have to go all the way to the right. You just go to the left one and it brings you to all software. So it's one click.
But you should be able to go to your folders from the main home screen is what I'm saying. Why do you have to click all software and then go to folders?
It's one click. Why are you upset about one click?
I just think it's dumb.
No, I understand why they did it that way because they want what they want. They don't want it to be part of the launch process.
Yeah.
They want it to be a secondary process. They don't want it to be on the home screen. They don't want one more thing they have to load up.
Yeah. I don't like it.
So I'm saying they don't want to have your folders on the main screen. You know, they don't want you to be able to put them there because they want it to be like a secondary process that you go to.
But you have to go to all software and then click L, right?
You have to click all software and then there's a button that you press to access folders. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Why can't there just be a button we click to access folders? I know we're getting off topic here. Bear with us.
I don't know. I don't think it's as big of a deal. I mean, yeah, it's a little inconvenient.
Anyway. And when, so you had a good point about when you think this might be coming out too.
Oh yeah, I think that if we were to see this year, it's going to be in October, late October, because last late October was when we got the expansion pack, and I think that they're going to want to hit us with this right before the expansion pack, before everyone's year memberships come up, so that people don't cancel their subscriptions.
Yeah, have something else to think about.
Have one more thing, a reason to keep their subscription.
Yep.
They've done this almost every year. I think there was 1 year they skipped, maybe 2020. You know, but that was peak pandemic, so
Yeah.
maybe that's why they didn't. But pretty much every year on the dot, they have a reason for you to keep your NSO subscription up to date. And I think this will be this year's.
Well,
I thought it was going to be last year. I really didn't think we'd get N64. I thought last year we'd get Game Boy.
Well, you heard it here. You heard it from Gaming Gig first, guys. October 25th, Game Boy will be coming to Switch.
I think it's going to be October. I think it's going to be before the 25th. I think they're going to announce it.
Yeah, before your subscription actually.
Yeah, I
runs
think
out.
they're going to announce it like September, and then you know, then in October that's when it'll release. Okay, so let's take a look at this list.
Yeah.
Because I want to see what games are on it. Because I actually haven't looked at it yet.
Oh, really?
No, I haven't looked at it at all.
Oh, well, there's a link right there in your outline. Go ahead and click that bad boy.
Boom. Okay, so all right, so I have to say that I owned a Game Boy Color, I owned a Game Boy Advance, but I was very much a console gamer as a kid, not much of a handheld gamer. So I can go ahead before even really looking through it. I can tell you I probably played a tiny fraction of any of these games.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've played a number of these games, but, you know, you don't exactly have your own money when you're a kid. So I probably didn't play as many of them as I would have if it was nowadays. You know?
Right.
But, no, I had a Game Boy Color. Actually, it's over there on the shelf. And then I had a Game Boy Advance. You know, I mean, I loved my Game Boy. So I played it all the time. And now I have this beautiful modded Game Boy Advance that I love so much. But, yeah, so that's kind of my history with it. I mean, I was a console gamer too, but I did play a lot of handheld stuff.
Right.
But
there are some games on this list that I am super excited about. I mean, like Wario Land 4. I'm a huge fan of the Wario Land series. Mm-hmm. And Wario Land 4 is amazing.
Yeah, you played that one last year, right?
Yeah, I played Wario Land 4 this past year. Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I played Wario Land 4 this past year. Yeah, I played Wario Land 3 the year before that. Mm-hmm. And then I also played the Wario Land Shake It for Wii. That was really good too.
Yeah. So you want to just go through this list and just kind of quickly...
I mean, we'll start at the top, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, like, I don't think we really have to hit on all these because maybe there's the two Castlevania games.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, but see, those two games are already...
On the Switch.
Both of them are released in the Advanced Collection already. Mm-hmm. Like, I played through a good bit of Aria of Sorrow already before I just couldn't. I'm just not a Castlevania guy.
Now, this Fire Emblem, the Sacred Stones, that's like... isn't that a cool one? Isn't that like the one that was... Is that...
Sacred Stones is awesome. I played that when I was a kid.
Right.
Would love to play it again. It's not... You're probably thinking of the first one that hit North America.
Is that not it?
No, that's the... So, if you're not familiar with the Fire Emblem North America history...
I'm really not.
Yeah, Melee, Super Smash Brothers Melee pretty much introduced America to Marth and Roy. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of what got Americans interested in the series. So they eventually brought... a Game Boy Advance game over, and it was just called Fire Emblem in America. But in Japan, it was called Fire Emblem: The Blazing Blade. And so that one, it actually doesn't even have Martha Roy in it. So when I first booted it up when I was a kid, I was super confused. It's actually a prequel to the game that has Roy in it, which is, I think, called Fire Emblem: The Binding Blade. And that game, I don't think that game ever got released in North America, but I do have a fan translated ROM that I've played a little bit of. And I think I'm correct on that. Correct me if I'm wrong. It might have got released in North America, but I don't think it did. But the Sacred Stones came after that, and so I played both of them when I was a kid, and they're awesome.
Now I just realized this list is Game Boy Advance games only.
Right.
Yeah.
There may be a game. The stuff I saw on Twitter was saying that there was only a few Game Boy games that were confirmed.
Oh yeah, because that's right. Because I saw it. It was Tetris. It was like Mario Land.
Yeah.
Let me think what else it said. Did it say Pokemon?
No,
I didn't think so.
No, so yeah, we'll talk about Pokemon later.
I noticed that Pokemon, besides Mystery Dungeon and Pokemon Pinball, there's no Pokemon games on this list either.
Right, and people are pumped about Pokemon Pinball. Apparently, it's awesome. I've never played that.
Yeah, it's one I hear people talk about all the time.
Yeah, but we can get into what do you think about Pokemon? Do you think it will ever come to the service?
No.
Why not?
Well, I mean, I think that if they were to put Pokemon on Switch, I think they would want to sell it separately. Mm-hmm. I think it's just they would make too much money off of it.
Yeah.
To include it in part of a pack. But maybe if they did, they would have so many more subscriptions that maybe it would be worth it. Mm-hmm. I could see people totally just getting a subscription just to play it. Just to play, those old Pokemon games.
Yeah.
But I think that this list not having a Pokemon game on it lends a little more credence towards this maybe being accurate, because I would have never suspected that Pokemon would be on the list.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think they would make way too much money. They're leaving too much money on the table. But I know we talked a while ago. Do you remember this thing about the gambling in Pokemon?
Oh, yeah, we talked about that a long time ago, back when we first started the Gaming Geek channel.
Yeah. So if you're not familiar with that, it's pretty interesting. So the PEGI, which is Pan-European Games Information, it's basically the European version of the ESRB, the game rating system. They have a rule where any game that includes gambling and glamorizes gambling and teaches you how to gamble is automatically rated 18 plus.
Right.
Now, they don't go back and retroactively re-rate games, but if they were to get re-released, they would be 18 plus, and that's because of the games corner.
There's the the casino.
The casino. Well, that's the games corner.
Is that what it is called?
Mm-hmm. And you got to go in.
Is that in both the Gen 1 and Gen 2?
I don't know if it's in Gen 2. It was in Kanto, so
I think it's definitely in Gen 2 as well.
The article that I read today was definitely talking about red, blue, and yellow.
I think it's in the second in Gen 2 as well. I think I remember that.
Yeah.
So
and you have to go there.
Yeah.
Because that's how you go to a Team Rocket hideout or something.
Yeah, you have to go there, and yeah.
So not even optional.
Yeah. I don't know. That does put a wrench in things. But
can you imagine how mad people would be if they re-released Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow and took that out somehow?
They would have to, wouldn't they? You think they would have to take it out?
If they don't want their games to be 18 plus in
Or
Europe.
they could not be in Europe. I mean...
Yeah.
No. I don't know. It's a tough one. So otherwise, on this list, Yoshi's Island, Super Mario Advance 3. I know you're a fan of that one. Mm-hmm. Metroid Fusion. That's pretty cool. And Metroid Zero Mission.
Yeah, those are the big two for me on this list.
Yeah.
Those should have been out before Dread. They should have put out a Metroid Advance collection or something and let people play those before Dread.
Oh, you got a Mario and Luigi game,
Mm-hmm.
Superstar Saga.
I've always wanted to play those.
Mm-hmm.
Super Circuit, Mario Kart Super Circuit.
That's okay.
You don't like Super Circuit?
It's all right.
Oh, I like Super Circuit.
I'm honestly those any of the handheld Mario Kart games I've never been a big fan of.
Really?
Nah.
You don't even like DS? Mario Kart
I think the best part of Mario Kart is playing it with friends, and being on a handheld takes away 90% of that fun. I'm sure you can link cable them and stuff.
Definitely.
But I don't remember.
Yeah.
But I remember playing like this one, and then any of the handheld even as far up as Mario Kart 7 on DS or 3DS. It's I'd much rather Mario Kart is about playing with friends.
Yeah.
And being on a handheld pretty much takes away all the fun. Same thing with Mario Party on handhelds. I feel the same way. It just is not appealing to me.
Well, we used to, me and Adam specifically back in the day, we used to use the link cable because we played another game that's on this, F-Zero Maximum Velocity.
Yeah.
We played the crap out of that, and we did it with the link cable, and it was super fun.
Right, and if you're able to play with friends, it's a different story. But just playing them on your own, which is like probably the majority of the time that you'd be playing these, most likely.
Yeah. But what if it had online? What if Mario Kart Super Circuit had online?
Then I'll give it another chance. I'm saying like back in the day, I didn't really like them.
Yeah.
Because it just wasn't. I didn't see the appeal. I still don't see the appeal.
Mm-hmm. Now I know a lot of people are pumped about Golden Sun and Golden Sun: The Lost Age being on this list because those games are wildly huge and everyone says fantastic, especially the first Golden Sun. I've never played either one of them, so I don't know. Maybe it's worth giving a shot. I'm sure they're. You don't get a reputation like that if you're a crap game.
I think the one that I'm most excited about, if I had to pick one, like Wario Land 4 is awesome. Mm-hmm. I love that game. I love the Wario Land games in general, but I've played them recently. I own Wario Land 4, so I don't really have a, draw towards it. Mm-hmm. But the Minish Cap
is
a game that I really want to play. It's one that I missed out on, and everyone talks so highly about.
Yeah.
I would love to play the Minish Cap.
Yeah, that's a big one. I wonder if we'll get like the Oracle games. The Oracle Seasons and Oracle of Ages.
That was what, Game Boy Color?
That's Game Boy Color, yeah. And I found my copy too, and I've even got the manual for that.
Ooh.
Yeah. Tactics Ogre, Knight of Lotus. Everybody says Tactics Ogre is amazing. I've been hearing about it ever since I got into Triangle Strategy.
Yeah, I was going to say, I remember you talking to me about that.
So that's one I want to give a shot. Drill Dozer's on the list. Everybody loves Drill Dozer. Never played it. Mm-hmm.
There's some good stuff on there for sure.
Mega Man games.
I'm not personally a huge fan of all these like Game Boy Advance or Game Boy games in general. Mm-hmm. I just, I played some of them, and I know a lot of these are high quality games.
Yeah.
They just don't quite tickle the nostalgia itch in me that like the N64, expansion pack did.
Yeah.
Or even the Super Nintendo, So.
Hot take. I think I have more nostalgia for the Game Boy Advance than the N64.
Well, you may have played it more.
Yeah, I put a lot of hours on the Game Boy Advance.
Yeah.
So I know there's games on that are not on this list that I'm forgetting about.
Yeah.
But
I'll say that if for me, if I was going off this list, and let's say that it was like for some reason, it was another tier, and it was it was pretty expensive. Mm-hmm. Unless I was able to split it with friends and make it super cheap, I don't think I'd go for it. Just because.
Yeah.
I really want to play Minish Cap. Yeah. But I could buy Minish Cap. It depends on the, and then have it physically.
There's a lot of ways to play Minish Cap.
I know. I know that. But you know what I'm saying. There are other ways to play it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you. If it was, I absolutely love Game Boy. But if it was like going to be wildly expensive, why don't I just have this?
Right, yeah.
And have a flash cart.
Yeah.
It's just, it's hard to justify the price.
Yeah, well, we don't know, right? Obviously, if it's just part of the expansion pack, then sure, I'm going for it. I'll try them out. I'll play some. Like in the Metro games, I would have loved to have had access to that before I bought them.
Yeah, you bought them on Virtual Console.
Because I bought them both on Virtual Console and Wii U.
Yeah.
Which, I'm not upset that I did. They weren't that expensive.
Right.
But still, it would have been nice to have it as part of a subscription service for sure.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. I played Zero Mission on an emulator, and I played Fusion on that. Actually, I'm pretty sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Well.
And I'm telling you, like, I love the Switch, but there's something about original hardware.
Yeah.
There really is.
There is, for sure. For sure. So, the last thing I'd like to kind of go over here is like, do you think that this leak is real? Like, because at the end of the day, none of this matters if this leak is fake. Mm-hmm. Do you think it's real?
Yeah.
You do? What makes
Yeah.
you? I mean, like I know that like people who are way smarter and know way more about this than me say it's probably real.
Yeah.
So that's where I would like lean towards that, but I have no like evidence to prove like how do I know? I don't
Well,
know.
there's a lot of, I mean, it could all be fake, but there's a lot of quote unquote evidence that you can find.
Right.
You can find screenshots of these games being tested on the emulators. So, I mean, yeah, I do. I think it's real. I think it'd be crazy for them not to at least be working on this. Mm-hmm. So the fact that all of a sudden we have all this, again, evidence, I do. I think it's real. And I think you have a good point that it could come out, close to late October.
Yeah, and still they're
And be trickle fed.
and
of
they're
course.
working on it really hard right now, and they're getting it out, getting it ready for a fall release. Because we're still in the spring. I mean, we still have plenty of time.
Yeah.
But I guess if you're ready, we'll go ahead and move on to the next section of the podcast.
I'm ready.
So here's a poll that is somewhat related because it's in has to do with game subscription service, much like Nintendo's Switch Online, or things like Game Pass or the new PlayStation Plus.
Yeah. Sparta.
So here's the question. It says, what's the best argument in favor of game subscription services? Things like Game Pass. And we gave a couple options. We said they can be cheaper than buying games traditionally, the variety of games available. Third was you can try games without fear of not liking them. Then convenience, and then the number of games. I tried to like list all the options, like all the arguments towards like why these things are great. But what's the best one, And you can go over the results here.
Yeah, so at 74%, it was you can try games without fear of not liking them.
So this is like overwhelming. Like this is what people picked, which I kind of didn't expect that.
No, I would have expected it to be maybe variety of games or number of games. I mean, I can't. Number of games available got 1% of the vote. That freaks me out.
That's weird.
That's
It's
weird.
like people don't care about the number. It's not about the number of games, which I think that. I think that being said, like things like Game Pass have a lot of games, so it's kind
Yeah.
of at that point you stop caring about the number.
You get kind of numb.
Like
to
once
the
the
number.
number gets so big, yeah, you're numb to it. Like it doesn't
Yeah.
matter anymore. So I get like why that number is small in retrospect, but I think that that's important. Mm-hmm. I think it's one of those things that if it wasn't a lot of games, you would think otherwise.
Right.
Convenience was another one I thought would be huge.
Mm-hmm.
It's so convenient to just have this library of games at your fingertips. Nope. Apparently, it's trying the games without the fear of not liking them.
Weird.
Which
That's a good option, but it just
that's
weirds
one of
me
my
out.
favorite things about them is you can just try a game without forking up the money and being
Right.
like, oh, here I go. I'm going to put a $60 or $70 investment into this. I hope I like it.
Right.
If you can download it for free or, not for free, but, for the price of your subscription. And if you don't like it, there's, hundreds of other games for you to try.
That's right.
So, but second to that was it can be cheaper, which it can be cheaper.
Definitely. And one of our comments we're going to read touches on that. For
Yeah,
sure.
but I think that it also can be more expensive depending on how you use it. And that's something that
Yeah.
I feel like I've been having a little bit of a internal struggle with, specifically with Game Pass. And we'll get to that in a minute because a comment touches on that. But yeah, I think the poll results in this were very interesting because I did not expect. I knew that it would be like some people would vote for that, but I didn't realize it'd be 74% of people saying it's all about being able to try the games without the fear of not liking them.
Yeah. It's surprising.
Yeah.
So Heather Cook, longtime recurring commenter, says, "Oh, it's such a hard choice. On one hand, I love Game Pass because I used to only be able to afford a couple new games a year. Now I can play a bunch. But I also love it because I found a bunch of games I absolutely adore but would have never played otherwise. But I most love it because it creates a library of shared games with my friends. Getting friends together for games used to be hard because it feels like there's always someone who doesn't have something. But now with Game Pass, my friends and I have all these games we know we all have access to, and it's easy to suggest any game on there to play together."
Yeah.
And we've done that.
Oh,
we do
yeah,
it.
for
We're
sure.
going to do it tonight with Sea of Thieves.
Right. And that's like one of those things like it's an easy sell if you're like, hey, I want to play Sea of Thieves with you. It's on Game Pass.
Right.
You know?
It was an easy sell when you first got us into Sea of Thieves.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's there. You don't have to buy it.
Yeah.
Even though I have to say, I just bought a physical copy of Sea of Thieves, $4 at Game Pass.
Oh, dude.
I mean, sorry, not Game Pass, at GameStop.
That's awesome.
$4 used.
And if you're not using your Game Pass subscription for anything but Sea of Thieves, that's a lot cheaper.
Yeah. So I think, having that shared library of games with people, like, hey, you want to play some games? We can play Forza, or we can whatever is on there. That you can get together with friends and play. I think that's something that wasn't in the poll, but I wish I had thought of that and put it in there because I think that makes total sense.
Yeah. We've done that. Like when Sea of Thieves servers were down and me and you and Nick were trying to stream, we were like, well, we could play this. We could play this.
Yeah, because we all have the same games.
A lot of them ended up not working, but that's beside the point. I think we were just having a bad night.
Yeah, because we were trying through, I think that the peer-to-peer connections on Game Pass aren't so hot.
Yeah.
But, no one ever talks about that. They always talk about Nintendo's being bad. But I'll tell you, Xbox wasn't much better for that particular night.
Yeah. Nintendo does get a lot of flack for its online, but I'm telling you that's because it's not good.
Yeah.
As an esports coach who deals with problems with switches getting onto various networks and connecting to other people like 3 times a week,
Yeah.
I can tell you Nintendo's online sucks a lot worse than Xbox's.
But still, having that big library of games is awesome.
Yeah.
So next we had Larry House.
Larry House
Said, I recently ditched Xbox altogether because of Game Pass. I play a handful of days out of the month due to work, and I usually only ever played Forza on Xbox. Those games have a 2 or 3 year life cycle. Game Pass means I'm spending several hundreds more a year just for basic online gameplay services when I'm a firm believer that I pay full price for a game. He says, when I'm a firm believer that I pay full price for a game where a lot of its material is centered around online play, I shouldn't have to pay more just to have that online play. In the case of Game Pass being about $200 a year or $600 over the over 3 year lifespan, it's always way cheaper for me to play the games I like casually, pay $50 a year for live and a select few others, and just wait for digital sales.
Yeah. So he's making the same argument you are, that it adds up.
It adds up.
If you don't
and if
use
you're
it.
not using it,
Yeah.
if you're only playing even if you use it daily, but you're playing the same game over and over and over,
Yeah.
which is my case.
Yeah.
I use it all the time, but I'm playing Sea of Thieves.
Right.
And there are other games on there that I haven't played, but I started to get to the end of games that I wanted to play.
Right.
So I was I had to think do I want to keep Game Pass? Because right now I'm spending $15 a month for Game Pass Ultimate, and I'm only playing Sea of Thieves basically, and I just bought that game for $4.
Yeah.
So it's and I already had it, and I had already purchased it on my PC as well.
Right. So now you got an Xbox copy.
So now I have an Xbox copy as well. So it's you don't even have to have Xbox Live to play it on PC.
Right. No,
You don't even have to pay for the online subscription.
That's true. And I haven't told you this, but I am considering doing what you've done because I don't use my Game Pass subscription enough either. So I'm considering, going the route of GameFly as well.
Did I tell you GameFly just sent me a thing there? I have the one game at a time. Mm-hmm. They just sent me an email, said they're upgrading me this month for free to 2 games a month.
What?
2 games at a time. 2 games at a time, sorry.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So this month I'll be getting 2 games at a time instead of 1.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I think they're trying to get me hooked on it.
Yeah.
They're giving it, they're here, try it out, see what you think.
I bet if you paid for a month of the one game and then went to cancel it, they would do a Sirius XM to you and be like, hey, what if we give you the 2?
Yeah.
Will you stay?
They probably would, yeah.
Yeah, because you got a crazy deal from Sirius XM once because of that.
Oh, yeah, I do it all the time. Once a year, I call them up and tell them I'm canceling. And they drop me. They're because it'll go for Sirius XM, for the thing I don't even listen to it. Catherine's the only one who listens to it. I don't even have it in my car anymore. Mm-hmm. I just never.
You don't even have speakers in your car anymore,
right.
Andy.
Right. So I'll call them and be like, hey, we're canceling it. And it's they want to charge you $20-something a month. I'll get them down to $4-something, $4.99 a month. Mm-hmm. And then I'll be like, okay, I'll keep it. I'll do it every year. And they tell me every year that they're next year we can't do it. But then they do it every time.
Yeah.
I say, okay, well, I'll just cancel. And then they're like, no, okay, we'll do it.
You got to be willing to walk away to get the deal.
But yeah, Larry's exactly right here. If you only play a few games on something like Game Pass, even if you're playing them every single day, it's not a good deal.
Right.
And that's what I've had to do. I've had to cancel my Game Pass and say, look, I'm going to use GameFly where I can get, a variety of games, the ones I want, and but I'm not like set to that only that library, and because GameFly, the library, it's way more games.
Yeah.
It's basically every game, and it's brand new games, third party games, like everything.
Right.
So, all right,
We got another comment from CTRA Kina.
CTR Akina, yeah.
Most games I bought was because of Game Pass.
Saying that like they tried them on Game Pass, liked it, and bought it.
Yeah, we've talked about that before.
That's not a bad way to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I recently did a good thing with Guardians of the Galaxy, because I bought Guardians months ago. Mm-hmm. Now,
Back when it came out.
Right, when it came out. Now we're playing it, but it's on Game Pass now. So I could have just waited, but who knew?
Yeah, you didn't know. I mean, it just came to Game Pass.
But now I have this unopened copy of Guardians that I'm not even using because now I'm playing Guardians, but I just downloaded it on Game
Now,
Pass.
some people will be upset that they have this copy that they're never going to open.
Yeah.
But for you think, oh, it's a collector.
Yeah.
I can collect it now and it's sealed.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, that's kind of neat. Yeah, I mean, like, that's a good way. It's a good place to try games, Let's see here. Next, we had Abel. Abel said, to try games without wasting too much money to see if you like them. But if you use the service just to play a select few games you enjoy, you're wasting your money. So this is just like, seems like a lot of the comments are, or at least Larry and Abel here are in agreement.
Larry and Abel.
If you're just playing a few games, you're wasting your money.
Yeah. I mean, the math don't lie.
Yeah, the math checks out. Yeah. So, that being said, if it's like, I'm kind of changing my Game Pass for GameFly. Mm-hmm. And they cost about the same.
Yeah.
So it's like, you have to weigh the benefits.
Yeah.
Which one is?
You do.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that brings us to our last segment here. Randy, what are you playing?
Well, you mentioned a second ago, Guardians of the Galaxy, and this is one that finally we are synced up on a game. Mm-hmm. We've talked about doing it for a while. We're both playing Guardians of the Galaxy, and I have to say, I'm still in the early stages of it, but
it's fun.
It's
right?
fun.
Yeah, it's super fun. It even made me go back and rewatch the first Guardians. I watched it last night. I think that game's great.
Yeah, it's really fun, funny.
It's very funny, and the gameplay, the combat is fun.
Yeah, the combat's very fun. It's kind of like watching a movie too.
Yeah.
It's kind of like has a lot of cutscenes, but they're funny and they're very entertaining.
And they even add to the story and influence it in certain ways, depending on dialogue choices.
Right? Yeah, a lot of dialogue choices. It reminds me. It's like a combination of like the combat reminds me of the Final Fantasy VII remake.
Definitely.
It's certainly in that vein, but more shootery. But then the cinematic and the dialogue choices and like things like that, the quick time events, those remind me a lot of some of those. I don't know if you've played any of the Dark Pictures anthology or like games in that vein where it's really like I guess they call them I don't know what they're really more like movies. They're like half game, half movie.
Yeah,
you kind of like interactive movies. I think is what they call them.
God of War has a lot of quick time events. So some of the big quick time events remind me of God of War, but there's also a lot of smaller ones that don't. So
yeah, they definitely. It has like an interactive movie feel to it at times, but it also has real combat.
Yeah.
So far.
Have you done the huddles yet? Have you done a huddle?
Yeah, I've done one.
The huddles are so funny to me.
Yeah.
That just cracks me, and then they crank the music up when you come out of the huddle. It's just great.
It's definitely got a really good vibe. I think it was really well done, and it seems to have flown really under the radar.
Yeah, I think it did, but I didn't hear people saying it was bad.
No, people said it was good. The people who played it said it was good.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I think so many people got burnt on the Avengers game.
Yeah.
That they thought, oh, Guardians of the Galaxy, this is just another one of those. And they just like skipped it.
Yeah. And I was talking to some of my esports kids about it, and they were like, oh, I heard that game sucked. And I was like, nope, you're thinking about Avengers. And they're like, I am thinking about Avengers.
Yeah.
Because that game did get a really bad rap. But Guardians, I heard good things about.
And I think it just being another Marvel game that came out at a similar, not too far after Avengers.
Yeah.
I think it just got lumped in with Avengers. And I think, I think we got to do our part to say, hey, Guardians of the Galaxy is good. You got to play it.
Yeah, go play Guardians.
But beyond Guardians, I'm also playing, let me think. Oh, I'm playing Wind Waker right now as well.
Yeah.
And
classic.
I am almost done. I am at the very end. I have like I'm on the second to last chapter of the game.
Okay.
And I'm about halfway through that chapter. So I'm getting close. I'd say I have another day or two.
That's such a great game.
Yeah. I'm getting close. I'm getting close. Oh, and I'm playing Stardew Valley with Catherine.
Yeah.
Yep. What about you? What you playing besides Guardians? Are you just playing Guardians right now?
No, I'm playing Guardians and I'm playing Triangle Strategy. I kind of split my time between those two. So Triangle Strategy, I'm playing only in handheld. I'm actually playing it on my Switch Lite only. Weirdly.
Hey,
I love
you.
I love the Switch Lite and the D. I just like the D-pad. It works well for the grid-based stuff. So I'm playing Triangle Strategy as handheld. I'm playing Guardians as my console game, and of course we're playing Sea of Thieves.
Check us out on twitch.tv/gaminggig
Oh yeah,
for some awesome Sea of Thieves content.
we're really starting to hit our stride, guys. I'm just saying. I mean, we've realized that we're not good at the game, but we've realized that we have great natural charisma.
Well,
So
I don't know about that.
now come watch. It's always a good time. It's hilarity always ensues.
Yeah,
That's
it's
all.
really fun. It's really fun. And yeah, so sounds like we've got some fun games we're playing right now. I'm no. Oh, you know what? I did last week. I mentioned that I was playing Hitman 3. I actually ditched on that game. I ditched on it. I got to the last mission and ditched on the game because I just didn't feel like doing it, man. I just as the game went on, like the first few missions were fun, or at least semi-fun. They were interesting. They were unlike anything I'd played before.
Yeah.
But then I realized that it's all just the same with a different skin, and I just got bored. And it was also like the game made me think that it was going to be this cool, like it's really free, and you have all these options to do all these different things. But at the end of the day, I found that the easiest thing to do was just to brute force it, just run and try to skirt past security, kill the person I was supposed to kill, and then get out of there. And it was never I never really felt.
You never felt cool.
It wasn't that cool.
Yeah.
All the cool stuff you had to work so hard to pull
Yeah.
off, you have to have patience, and I just didn't have the patience for it.
I feel you.
So I ditched on that one, but what can you do?
Can't do nothing.
But I think that's it for the day, man.
I think it is.
So until next time, guys, I'm Randy,
And I'm Daniel.
and this has been Gaming Gig.
Peace out.